Welcome to the B. Lenore Show. Here, we will discuss lifestyle, beauty, celebrity gossip, and current events in our own way, my way, B-style. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Sunday. It's March 20th, and I'm still celebrating my birthday. Yes, I am. It is 6 days in. I told you it wouldn't be over until tomorrow. So it's still my birthday, too. And today, my special guest has a birthday coming up as well, not too far from now. So it's a March Madness day for us, okay? So with that said, hi, December baby. How are you this morning? Thank you for stopping by. Everyone, I know that you have either seen or at least heard of the new Netflix limited series called Inventing Anna. And this thing has been a phenomenon. Everywhere you turn, somebody is talking about this show, this whole oh my gosh, the entire journey of it all, that this young woman who comes from another country, an immigrant, a Russian German immigrant that comes to the United States to try to make it big. And she doesn't have a lot of money, but she's pretty savvy and almost achieves what it is that she's looking for. But this day, we're going to talk to one of the people who became very close friends with her. They worked together as far as a client professional relationship, and then they became even closer friends. And she had a bird's eye view of what was going on with Anna Delvey from Inventing Anna. And this person is KACEY Duke. And you probably, if you've seen the movie or seen the show, then you know that KACEY Duke was played by Laverne Cox. So again, another milestone in history was made in this movie, and we'll talk more about that as well. So let's get ready, get started, so that we can talk to KACEY Duke firsthand, all right? So with that said, let me invite up.
Hey.
Hi, KACEY. How are you?
Val. I'm great. Nice to be here.
Great to have you. And again, you got a birthday coming up next week, so happy birthday.
Thank you. March, but I'm an Aries, not a Pisces.
Right, I know.
But happy belated birthday to you.
Look, everybody can't be a Pisces. I understand. I understand.
I love that. That's very Inventing Anna-ish.
Right.
I should say very Anna Delvey. She's like, you got to stand in your power. You got to stand in your power. This is true.
I was channeling her court day look when she had on her black dress and her, from the movie. I'm channeling her today.
Oh, you're channeling her today. Oh, good for you, girl. Bye, girl. Anyway, I'm happy to be here. And
I'm so happy to have you here, and we'll talk about, Anna and all of that, but I really want to hear more about you, because you have your own phenomenal career and story of your own. So just tell us first and foremost, where are you from originally, KACEY?
New York City. Actually born in Brooklyn in the house.
All right.
New York in the house. So yes, that's where I'm from. And I even though I've lived around the world, but this is my home base, and this is where I love. And I am truly, a native New Yorker and proud of it. And so I'm happy to make sure I put that out there, because New York sometimes gets a bad rap. We're really kind here. So, as for me, I am a fitness and wellness expert or coach or whatever you want to call me. But I am, like my shirt says, a graceful gangster, and that's the name of my
Yes.
and that is the name of my life coaching business. It's called the Graceful Gangster, and a podcast that's starting soon called the Art of the Graceful Gangster. So showing
Oh,
and spotlighting people who are and the tools to help you to be that.
yes.
So that's kind of what's happening on the horizon now, but plus my business and whatever else I'm doing. But I am a health and wellness coach, and that's what I do, and that's what I love to do, and I've done that for so many years. And
What's so many years? How long what
about
got
30
you to
years
it?
now,
30.
30 years. And I think it started back, if it was KC Duke, the early years, I ran track and field in school, and then I danced in the afternoon. So
Oh,
I thought I said, which one do I want? Am I sick of coaches? Am I tired of dance? And I thought dance was more glamorous, and then and it wasn't right. It wasn't my calling.
okay.
So it would take forever to get a solo, and I just wasn't good enough. So but I took the knowledge of that sense of grace, and I added it to that sense of athleticism from the track and field, and somehow I melded them into my own technique and philosophy, and what I call um, it's muscle fiber targeting.
Hmm.
So what I do is all about chiseling the muscle, and everybody can have beautiful lines to their body, whether they're a large size woman or man, or small or chisel. Everybody can have beautiful lines. So I think my technique has um, uh, been something that's been sought after, of course, for people working on film. So yes, I have worked with a lot of celebrities, from Denzel Washington, Swoon, um, to Lenny Kravitz, Maxwell, Julianne
Yes.
Moore, Gwen Stefani, Rachel Weisz. Oh my goodness, BB Rexa. Oh God, if I'm missing anyone, Kate Beckinsale. Oof,
Wow.
Mary Louise Park. I mean, there's so many, and I'm so grateful to have had the opportunity to work with some of the hottest stars on the red carpet, and but I still have my bread and butter clients too. So I have my non-celebrity clients. I don't want them to get mad that I'm not mentioning them. They're very important to me. They are my lifeline. But celebrities come and go, and I
Yeah.
work on movies, and then we part ways, and sometimes they come to me full time. It just depends, if I have to travel with a client. So I've had a really great life. I helped co-found a club called Equinox, and that was way back in the day, but we won't speak about that because they didn't really do right by me. But that's okay.
Okay.
I may not win, but I never lose.
I know
So
that's right.
because I'm still here.
That's right.
And it took a long time to be KC Duke Fitness, not KC Duke from Equinox. So I'm really proud of that. But I'm also proud of the work I've done with developing their group fitness program, and really the first club was probably the hottest club, and I have to say that it it was amazing, and I'm proud of the work I did there, and I hired some of the most talented African American and Hispanic trainers and instructors,
Wow.
and we put them on the map, and that I am very proud of.
Well, look,
So
let me ask you this though. When you decided to go into this, to have this full-time fitness career, how did you get your first celebrity client? Like obviously
you
you have
know
a slew of celebrities, and the celebrities you name, these are not any small town people. These are not your neighborhood community actors.
yeah, I
We're
know.
talking
You know
about
what?
Denzel Washington.
That is the question of the century. I get that question when I do workshops and lectures from so many trainers and instructors. Well, how can we get the celebrities? And I don't know the formula, except take care of the sense, and the sense will take care of itself. Do
Hmm.
what you do,
Yeah.
and somebody will recognize you, which for you cannot be stopped. And so
Yes.
if it's like I don't have a formula, except that I do the work. My work speaks for itself, and then someone says something to someone, and someone could be watching you or whatever. And I think my real first real, like I would say, celebrity client was a guy who was a Diet Coke hunk commercial guy named Lucky Vanos, and I did his abs. I did his abs for a commercial back in the '90s for Diet Coke, and he was the one who was a construction worker that took off his shirt at a certain time, and the women were watching him, and he was ripped. From that moment, people were like, "Wow!" And then then we did a video together, so people got noticed that. Wait, who did your body for this? And that helped start that. But I think Denzel Washington was my real first big movie star, and he just, he said, "This girl is doing some great work. Let me see if she can get me into shape." And Maxwell just happened to just one day, I got a phone call and it was a message saying, "Hey, KACEY, this is Maxwell. I heard you can get me fly." And I was like, "You bet I can get it." I was like,
I know that's
you never
right.
know where it's coming from. You never know, because assistants of stars, they have the word out there and they look for things, they look for people. And then you're on this list of people who are doing great stuff. So I just say that, just try to do the best you can. And someone's watching, and if you're meant for this,
Always.
you will they will find you. And never, with all the trials and tribulations and things I didn't get and things that rip off or whatever, the universe and God always found a way back to keep me on the trajectory that I was meant to be on. And if I kept my head straight, it was one of success. And that's what I did. I just stay in that trajectory of I love helping people. I love to see people succeed. I love to see the greatness in people. I really do. And if I could do all of this for free, I would, but I got to pay bills, so I can't. But
KACEY,
it's so nice.
You don't have to do
share
anything for free, because someone can look at you, see how gorgeous and fit and fly you are. And
you're very kind. On a Sunday morning, I'm just like, I should have gotten a little bit together for you. But
girl, you are working it. And then let me say this too, because now I'm not trying to say this to embarrass you. I heard you say this in an interview, so that's why I'm going to ask you. What's your birthday next week? You want to tell folks?
Well, my birthday is March 28th, and I will be 67 years old.
Can you freaking believe this, people? I got to get my life together. Okay.
It's, what it is. It's, I always say, don't be an age denier, be an age defier, because it starts in your mind. And my sisters can tell you, because, when they take care of themselves, it shows. When it doesn't, it shows. So it's like, some people say, "Oh, this is hereditary." No, not all my sisters have it all together. My one sister left, but my older sister, she would always say, "I know if I take care of myself, I'll look better." So I think I always say that it's mindset, motivation, and then the movement. The mindset is where it starts. It's like why people go off the programs, or they go off their life path, because they're not forgiving to themselves. They don't face the problems face on. I mean, and I don't mean that you have to just go out there and try to do something, that you have to really look at what's happening and look at your body, your life in its current form, however messy that might be. Just face it, and then you can go about transforming it. But if you're running from it and it's like chasing you, you don't turn around and say, "Okay, what the F do you want? Tell me what I need to do to make this right." If you don't turn around and just say, "Okay, I can do better." And then that's the mindset. And the motivational part is, like I always say, it's emotional, spiritual, and physical. So the emotional is the mindset, but that the spiritual, it's the motivational part. And it doesn't have to be just a religious experience. If that's what you want, fine. But if it can be a walk in the park, it can be, getting on a YouTube video. It could be, listening to a lecture. It could be, hiring a personal trainer like me. Shameless plug. But that's the motivation. It's how can I become my own life's motivation? What can I do? Who can I call? Who can I talk to? And that's why life coaching is such an important part of my business. And then the physical, the movement part is the last component. Notice it's not the end all, the be all. It's a little icing on the cake. But if you have those other two in place, you'll really be able to stay with being active and taking care of yourself and putting yourself first and showing yourself a lot of love and forgiving yourself. All those components will come in. So if you strengthen one, like the mindset, you'll become stronger. But if you strengthen all three, you really become your potential. You become the person that you can say, "You know what, if I didn't work out this week, today I can get it tomorrow." instead of or every time you make a plan. And this is a big point I want to say to people. If I'm not, hopefully I'm not rattling on too long, but I get
No, go
excited and I
ahead.
want to talk. So, but it's important to start making unrealistic goals. Stop making all these realistic goals that just set you up to fail. If you think,
Hey,
we didn't land a man on the moon by thinking realistically. You got to
right.
think out of the box. You got to
I
think what
agree.
works for you. You can't just make yourself like fit into somebody else's peg. So I say do something every day, and that includes just resting in place. That includes just taking a breath. If you can't, like some people say, I'm going to work out and I'm going to do something Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then when they don't follow through, they go, oh, all right, I'll just, let me just do what I want to do and I'll start another time. But if you do something every single day, and that includes whether I don't care if you do 5 sit-ups and walk 1 block, whatever it is, you can say, I'm in the game. That's the hardest part is being in the game. Getting started is the hardest part. And every single movement matters. Movement is a privilege. And if you can move, I always say you really should. And that doesn't mean that you have to be in the gym and you have to be, seeing a trainer, or you could take a walk and get your breath and take air in. And that is an experience that we all should be very grateful for, because not everybody can do that. Not everybody can just get up and just take a walk. I love doing, Central Park and on the West Side Highway, because I see people in wheelchairs and crutches and they're moving and grooving. And I'm like, this is why I love it, to see people like just doing their thing. It doesn't have to be something, that you have to pay so much money for, because if they can get out there, and love and enjoy life with their challenges, who the hell are we to say, I'm just going to sit on my couch. I'm just going to, no, get up, do something, even if it's just getting up there and just trying a little bit, it's just getting started. So anyway, that's part of my life. So anyway, so I'm a fitness person. I love what I do. Yes, I work with celebrities. I am a grandmother of 2 beautiful grandsons. I have my
Oh,
son Milan, who I love, and we're born the same day. A beautiful daughter-in-law, Kat. So I'm
what's your
great. And
daughter's name?
my dog's name is Zeus. So I have a dog named Zeus.
Okay.
And
Would you say
my daughter-in-law's name is Kat. I only have
cat?
one child. I've only
Oh,
always wanted
okay. The one
one
son.
child.
Okay, that's right.
I
You're right.
love experiences. I don't love repetitiveness. So
Right.
I always felt you can create more than just children. So I just always, people say, why don't you have more kids? And I was like, why? For
Because I
me,
didn't need to. Right. Exactly.
for
I
me,
have
it
one.
was like to do it again. It'd be like, well, that I don't know if that's not exciting for me. I like to do things and just keep building and growing and having adventures and experiences. And not that I'm on anyone else. But I told my son, I said, have one. He said, nah, they're gonna. I said, okay. So he has 2, and I'm so happy he did it.
Well, KACEY, I'm just so excited. You just gave us some free fitness advice and how we can get our life together. You just gave us some jewels. So I appreciate you dropping those
Anything for
on us.
you. I want to support you and what you're doing in your show. And I know that that when you're starting out, you need. And if I can help, you know, push you forward, and I want to see you thrive and climb and grow and be where you want to be, because I see the greatness in you, and I'm happy to be here.
Oh, thank you, KACEY. Well, let me
Happy to
just
be
say, so
here.
I want to speak to the folks in the chat real quick because a few people
Okay.
have come in, and then I want us to shift gears a bit. But
Okay.
let's go up here. Let me say hi to Hot and Spicy Tea. Thank you so much for stopping by. Hey, Key Lolo and Fatima. We got Sarkonos here. Hey, King Roman News. Onyx Blue is here. Hey,
Ooh, these
Official D
names.
Spot. All right. I appreciate everybody for stopping by. NY Nubian Queen. We've got another NY Nubian Queen on the
Woo!
panel
All
today here.
right, New York in the house.
So excited to have everyone here. Hey, Sassy Show. I am going to ask you all if you wouldn't mind, if you are a content creator who has the ability to share this live, I just ask that you would do that if you wouldn't mind. I also have some people that have joined over here on Facebook. I'm trying to stream in 2 places. I'm going. I'm trying to control the volume on this one though. So anyway, we've got some folks on Facebook. Hey, my Facebook family, everyone. This is KACEY Duke, the celebrity fitness trainer who was depicted in the Netflix limited series Inventing Anna. So I want to talk a little bit about that. And let's, before we get into that though, let's take a quick break. I want to run a quick commercial. We'll come right back and then we're going to talk about how you came to know Anna Delvey. All right. And then we're going to talk a little bit about this, I don't know whether to call it, I know it's a limited series, but I want to call it a film because it was just a great movie because I didn't stop at one episode at a time, you know.
Well, that's binging. That's a binge, exactly. But it is a series.
That's serious stuff. So let's take a quick commercial break and then we'll come right back and we'll hear all about this journey with Anna Delvey. Interesting. Right after this. Oops, wrong one. Right after this. All right, we're back. So let's talk.
The last one, so I can read your commercial.
So I wanted to know, how did Anna become acquainted with you? How did she find out about KACEY Do?
Okay, so we got to set the story straight right now because Anna and I were clients. And,
all right.
Okay. She was a client, and we were not friends the way that you would you're putting it. So let's clear the air. She was a client, but because of the way that I work, a lot of my clients, you know, because I was life coaching her as well as training her. Okay. And I have a lot of my young clients, even, you know, a lot of them can contest to that, from Dakota Johnson to BB Rexa to, you know, there are young celebrities that I've worked with that because I have a son their age, there's that paternal thing that happens. And with Anna came to me, she saw an article about, I was training Dakota Johnson for one of the last two 50 Shades of Grey movie. Mm-hmm. And she, you know, I did this whole article about look great naked, you know, and I think she saw that, she said, and she wanted, you know, she realized that in one of the first movies that, you know, Dakota was portrayed, and she was kind of a more girly and very, you know, thin and whatever. And I made her a little bit more womanly and sexy for the next, because she was more experienced. And so you couldn't have like a young girl looking body when now she's experienced. So I think she gravitated towards that. And that's how we met. And with Anna, there was no ding, 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 or like a sign around her, like an aura saying that she was a con woman, or she just was a regular young woman who was just looking, you know, for something she's looking to better her life in some way. Okay. And so when she told me about her idea, it was real and it was a great idea, you know, and she had a lot of good stuff on paper. And I love seeing that, because I love to see, you know, young people who are ambitious and who, you know, will do something besides shop.
Right.
Although she did a lot of that too. But
yeah, she seemed very materialistic though. It was all about the look, the aesthetic.
But she more or less, she wanted the life. She not only just wanted, she wanted the financial gain, and also the glamour. Sure. And I get that, because who doesn't? Right. I do. Right. Right. You know, but so I admired that about her. So I took a liking to her in that way, like I do clients that I have. I mean, I like all my clients, but you build a bond, because it is a relationship. It is a partnership when you work with me, because I'm not for everybody, and not just because of financial reasons, but because some people, if you don't get me how I work, then you won't stay with me. And I know that. I don't know. That's why I vet my clients, and I just say, we'll talk first. And if I think that there's something that I can help you with, and that you kind of get where I'm coming from, then we can hang and I'll take you on. But I don't take on so much just because they want a celebrity client. Because I used to get those that just want to just say that they train with me, or just be seen in my environment, or see who comes in my my workout space to train with me. They, some people are just curious, and so
Yeah.
they actually will buy packages just for that.
Yeah.
And so I've learned to make sure that I vet people. So it's very interesting because Anna had a lot going on that I really admired what she wanted to do. I thought it was like, it's a lot, but who am I to say? You know what I'm saying? What I think about my dreams, mine was a lot too. It's
Yeah.
about staying on the trajectory and not giving up no matter what. And she was pretty confident, in her head. And I was like, well, go on, girl.
Because
And then
how old was she again? She was about 25 or so, right?
25. I think she was 25.
And
If
she
she
had
was
this
telling the truth, it might
idea
have
of
been
this.
24, 25. She had an idea to do a private art club that consisted of art and, a little bit of everything in entertainment, but it was mostly art. And I thought it was a great idea. She found the building. She had, acquired some money for it. And I was like, go girl. And so, because, living in New York and my friends and clients, and again, Anna was living in a hotel. She didn't really have any friends. I was happy when she found Rachel. She just had Neff, and that she mentioned a girl named Neff, and I met Neff, and lovely young lady. But that's was somebody who worked in the hotel, and they were friends. But she lived in a hotel like fucking Madeline or something. So it was kind of wild to see a grown woman, and like, just that's it. I said, "Why don't you get an apartment?" Oh no, I'm not ready for that. But yeah, I did asked. I said, if you're going to be here, get an apartment, and she said, no, because I'm not sure. I'm going to travel, whatever, you know. And she had like a visa issue. So all these things you have to understand when you're my age and you're a mother and you're looking at this young girl and she has nobody else in New York. I was wanted to be there to help her.
Right.
So when I had a dinner, I said, I'm going to have a dinner. Would you like to come? I said, I think there's some people that I'd love you to meet. And I had my artist friends, she wanted to do this documentary. So I had my director film there, my director friend there, excuse me. And so I had a lot of people that I thought that that would meet her, that can be a mentor towards her, or at least give her information, or just make some new friends in New York instead of just living, in a hotel by yourself with only people that you go to meetings with, or like the people that you connect with. So I think that that was our connection. And so I think it felt more like I was, a part of her, her extended family. And because she knew that, number one, I'm no bullshit, but the other side is that I was grounded in wanting to help her. And I was grounded because that's why she was gravitated towards my apartment so much. And, because I'm invited and she sat on my deck and, we watched the sunset, because when I wasn't busy, she would kind of text and say, are you busy? And I'd love to talk to you. And I made time for her if I wasn't. And I said, just, oh yeah, come up and, just relax a minute. So I think that's what made her, our relationship the way it was. It was by far not a friendship. It was, and not that I think there's anything wrong with being friends with her. Absolutely not.
But you make a good point, because you and I talked about this the other day when we were preparing for this interview, and the movie or the show, it does give off this impression that you all were this clique. There was this group of 4 women, that were really bonded together and supported each other. And but I'm glad you're making that clarification, because one of my other questions was going to be, look, sis, you're from New York. You didn't smell this girl coming when she showed up with the BS. You didn't smell any of that.
It wasn't that funky. Because trust me, I'm good. I have a great bullshit alarm, and I mean I could tell. I was like, bullshit alert, bullshit alert. And this one I couldn't. I knew there was something wrong, because even Neff said, she always says KACEY was the first one. She knew something. I knew something wasn't wrong, but I thought it was psychological, and I thought it was insecurities, and I thought it was that she was just, she was just trying so hard to be, strong and be, a badass. And So that's my approach when I work with someone, whether it's Denzel Washington, whatever. I say, first you got to show yourself a lot of love. I said, then you got to get your badass or your bad bitch out, because that's what you need. You need it starts from your core. You got a navel to spine it, and titties out, and you got to just say, this is, you have to stand in your power, and say, this is where I'm at right now, but I know where I want to go, and pay attention to that intention of your own powerful growth. And so for a minute, whenever this was all breaking, I was like, what? She's a what? She's a what? I'm saying, oh my God, did I create this monster? Because of the fact that I empower people for positive change. I mean, people come to me and they're like, and all of a sudden they're like, I'm a bad bitch, I'm a badass, I'm a graceful gangster. And that's what and I want them to feel that way. So, but luckily there was a whole story that was happening that I didn't know about, that I said, okay, I'm glad that this is not, this wasn't my problem, because I know that the more that she got her body together and she worked hard, the more confident she became.
Right.
Because she would always say, they don't take me seriously, and they, they think because I'm young and they didn't give me this, but I'll stop whining, bitch. Just, what, do your thing. Stand in your power. Again, you may not win, but you never lose if you work on yourself and you work towards something and you keep your trajectory. I can't press that more. It's that you don't want to let just one thing just pull you off. It's okay for a minute, but you don't want to build a house there. You want to continue to say, okay, this didn't work out, but I know where I want to go, because people will try to mess with you. I mean, there's always something going on. Negativity is out there, but you want to stay on your positive track.
Let me ask you, did you tell me that you introduced her to Rachel, or did she meet Rachel some other way?
She met Rachel some other way.
Okay.
And but it was very interesting. I was happy that she, that she had a friend, and she was excited. This girl, she said, do you think I can bring Rachel to a workout with me? And I said yes, which I never do let people bring people, because it's, this is your time, and I don't have time for two people unless you're gonna really pay for it. Right. And that takes more time, because they're two different body types and two different fitness levels. And so I don't usually do that. Unless it's been planned and I have an assistant, and we, it's neither here nor there. I said yes to her because I was happy that she found a friend. I was like, yeah, you can bring her, because I wanted her to be proud that her trainer is gonna, she's gonna look good while she's doing it, because she's been training with me for months, so she's gonna know it and she's gonna feel good about it. And and her friend, and this is her friend, and I want them to, have this experience, and I want Anna to look good doing it. You
wanted to enable that relationship if possible.
Yeah.
Encourage it more.
I was like, this is good. And I get to see who this girl Rachel is. And she said she worked for New York Magazine. I was like, Vanity Fair Magazine. Sorry, Vanity Fair Magazine. I was like, oh, wow. I know I have clients that do a lot of work for them. And I had this famous photographer that worked for them. And I was like, oh, and I asked her, do you know this person? And she said, oh yeah. And then I checked her out. I said, do you know, to ask the photographer? He said, oh yeah, she does work. She's on the road when we go to LA to do the Oscar stuff. And she said, oh yeah, she's younger. She said, she's not. So I was like, okay. So it was all good, so but that made the con even better, because Anna said, okay, I got that connection. Because she actually met the photographer at my training space. So Anna did. And so Anna she already knew that, I had this connection. She even asked this particular person to go on the trip to Morocco with us. And I'm glad he said no. And I'm glad I said, I don't know. I asked him, I said, you want to go? But he says, no, I don't have time. And this was a job for me. I mean, when I go away, it's not unusual for a client to ask you to go away for a few days.
And that was the other clarification you made the other day too, because when we were talking, and I thought, okay, this was a girls' trip. It doesn't look like that on the show, but you actually went because that's your client, and she's going to be there for an extended period of time. And
she was going to do she was going there to do a documentary, because of the fact that she had to, a lot of people who come from other countries, they have a certain amount of time they can be here on a visa. Mm-hmm. So they have to leave the country and come back in several times. Part of that whole process, they have to take a week or 10 days off and then come back. Mm-hmm. So I think hers was like a 7-day. She had to leave for whatever time, or maybe a little bit more. But I knew how long I can stay, and it came at a time that I had a break. It was over a week, and I had a break. And I said, I could do this, because we brought a video photographer with us, to shoot that. That's the reason why she asked the photographer. She said, well, you think you're not? And I was like, I don't know, but I'll ask him. But this was the whole plan, was to shoot her documentary, pieces of her documentary while we were there. So she wanted to show herself healthy. She wanted to show me training her, doing tennis. So this was all part of the project. And she says, since I have to go away anyway to come back in, I might as well go away and do something, that helps my business and stay proactive with my business. And I thought that was a smart idea. If you have to go, she says, but I'm going to go. I want to go. She says, why not go to a beautiful spa? And I was like, I've never been. I was like, wow, this place looks amazing. I wanted to go to Morocco. And I was like, why not? I mean, I've been all over the world with clients and stayed in just amazing luxury. But I have to tell you, Mamunya was over the top gorgeous, maybe because it was Moroccan and it felt very Arabic and it was absolutely gorgeous. And I was happy to be there.
I know that's right. That's a great work from or remotely working now. I would love that, Let me ask you this. So great. When you were on that trip, because there's this trip that's depicted in the show, this trip to Morocco, and this is when people are starting to discover a little more that she doesn't have the funds that they thought she had.
Yes, but yes, they were, but I didn't really see that. There were times that this is when I realized, when I got sick there, and it wasn't just like a day. It looks in the movie, I mean, like it's like a day or something, but I mean, it is Hollywood, so they have to Hollywood up it a bit,
right.
I mean,
right.
Us being friends and a girls' trip, and that was more Hollywood, and I love what Shonda Rhimes did with it. Either way, it's a great series. But that, like they said, the parts were true, until the parts that were not true. And that
I love that at the beginning. I love that little disclaimer.
Everything in this is true,
except for the bullshit that was made up. So I love that.
Exactly. So it's kind of interesting that it looks like I was there one day and it was like boom, but there was a few more days than that. But I only planned on staying like 6 days or something like that. I wasn't, because I had to get back to work, and that was plenty of time. So I didn't really feel anything going on. I mean, because we were all having problems with our cards and stuff there when we first got there, because my bank does not honor that country because it's on the terrorist watch list. So they said that you're going to have to get, money out, or rails, whatever they call that money. And but certain ones will not, like a Visa will not, but MasterCard did. It was just a lot of things, but my bank didn't honor it, unless you wired it strictly to someone or whatever. Right. So, we were all having like little problems. We had to always get, cash out or something. So that being said, it set the tone for like where things were at. So it wasn't uncommon for somebody to say, yo, this card didn't go through. Could you wait for something else? But I didn't even hear all of that going on, because that was because Rachel and Anna, her new best friend, Rachel, they were taking care of everything. So the itinerary and everything, Rachel was saying, she was the go-to person with Anna. As I told her, I said, oh, Rachel's going to send that to you. And so they were just two bees in a pod there, just doing everything. It was like, gone girls. So I have to say that, Rachel had plenty of time to tell me something was amok, and she did not. So when we were in Morocco, and we were, going to dinners and shopping and all kinds of things, there were a couple of red flags. I mean, the idea that Anna was a big fashionista, that Rachel, I could say Rachel's taste was mediocre, at most. But Anna always had, she was always shopping and but when we arrived to go for dinner that first night, they had terrible clothing, and this is a Muslim country, and they were just not appropriate to go into this five-star restaurant.
To cover up. They need to
not even need to cover up. Even at the restaurant, you don't necessarily need to cover up out in there, but you need to be dressed appropriately in a five-star restaurant. This is it is not like like a Disney resort.
Right.
So you have to have certain things. You have to have a jacket on some things. You have to have the appropriate clothing. And it was sundress, whatever, but they didn't have, they would go. And I was like, oh, I said, I said, no, you can't go. So I ended up lending them clothes. And that was a little
annoying,
just a little ding that said, where's all her clothing? But I think that when she left the hotel to come to Morocco, they must have kept all her luggage. Because she didn't pay. I'm thinking this is all hindsight stuff. I'm thinking,
got you.
I'm saying that's probably why, after seeing the show and everything else, and going to the court process, after hearing the whole story, after the Vanity Fair article, it started to go, okay, because of the fact that I'm like, all these clothes I see you buying, and like she said, oh, look what I bought on Netta Porter, look what I bought on Netta, and being a fashionista myself. I could appreciate, that she was shopping and stuff.
Right.
And so I was a little like, why are you guys, Rachel, I can see, but why are you guys not having the right clothing? Anyway, so I dressed them for dinner that night. And then we went out to shop the next day to the spice market. And I wanted to do certain things. And she had this dress on that I think I lent her that one day. And I said, that's too revealing, because you have to watch it, because it is a Muslim country. You don't want to wear your ass and your tits out. You don't want to show nipples. You don't want to show that kind of thing.
Exactly.
You just don't want it to be sheer.
Right.
And it was kind of sheer looking. And it was like, and she was harassed the whole time we were walking around, but she didn't care, like, whatever. Oh. And I was like, oh God. And be the only Black on this trip. And I'm like, oh God, this is like, and the only adult in the friggin' room. I was like, just come on. And I was just like, just walking with them and just seeing her. And like, they were saying things to her and like yelling at her. And she was like, whatever. She just kept going. I would have been appalled.
That's just like how she's depicted in the show.
They got it good.
Let me say this. I finally saw the SNL skit that you told me about. Oh my Lord. She's like,
it was so funny. That was so good. Yeah.
It was so hilarious.
So and
let me say this, because I know you are short on time. Let me just ask you a couple of quick questions. One, it appears that you all were just really surprised, though, in the end, that this girl had really pulled the wool over everybody's eyes for the most part. But to be honest, there's some parts of her that are very admirable, that she could come from another country, and be from a completely different culture and get so close to actually achieving what it is she set out to achieve. Yeah. And had she gotten the approval for that loan, we may have never known all of this stuff.
Yeah, because I believe Anna would have paid everybody back, because she hates to look poor. And she really would have helped her to keep up what she was doing, and probably would have gotten even more money.
Yeah.
So there's a part of me that knows that because she would always want to pay her bills. She never wanted to look like she was a loser.
Okay.
But you get to a point that you start to spiral when things don't go well for you. And I think that's what happened when she showed up at my apartment, and I had to, have a life coach session with her, because she was spiraling. That's when I really saw, I said, something's not right. I looked at her feet, and I couldn't turn her away. I was like, something's not right here. And then that's when I started calling to the different hotels at one point and saying, does Anna, because she said she was staying at this place. And I said, and they said, who? And they would say, no, she's not here, but who is this? Because we want to talk to her or something. And I would just hang up. I was like, oh shoot. I called the next one. They were like, we're not going to have that information, but who is this speaking? And it would be so stern. I was like, okay. Yeah. I'm looking, because something was not right. I saw that she was worried, because and I didn't realize that night, that day before that, she had been in jail. I guess they arrested her and put her in jail for the hotel stuff. And then she got out, and I guess the only place she can come was to me. And so when she said, she was staying in when she showed up in the middle of the night, and that's when I had
security.
My guy there. I had company.
Oh, gotcha.
at that time.
Oh,
And
okay.
so
Like a gentleman caller, and here comes this heifer. No, I'm
yeah, exactly. But that's such a funny part. And I love all my ex-boyfriends. People are calling them saying, "Was that you? Was that you? Was that you?" Or everybody. And in my ex-boyfriend Mark Thomas, he's the only one that had the best line. He said, "Are you kidding? If that was me, KACEY would have never kicked me out." I said, "That's the best answer."
And it's the truth. Look, and we were talking about something, and I highlighted this comment, and Mel Lee follows up with what you and I talked about before. Sarkono says she couldn't come from Africa and gotten away with that. That's for sure.
This is a lot of white privilege. Definitely
exactly.
White privilege.
And Mel Lee says nothing admirable about white privilege. No, I'm not suggesting that it is. Well, all I'm suggesting is that in some ways, she did not look. White privilege is a great little asset to have in your back pocket. Don't get me wrong.
But I think what you're trying to say is that there is something about
she's young. She's
young. She's ambitious. She's a woman. There's a lot of stuff that you can sit back and just want to just we're not as privileged and we don't have all the assets, and neither did Anna to have. She wasn't a Kardashian. It wasn't that she had somebody to fall back on and get money from. And so, yes, there are admirable traits that she wanted to do something and she went for it. The part that's bad about this is that whether we could go all around this, Rachel was a victim. She ripped a lot of people off, and Rachel was a big victim in all of this. At the same time, she wanted to do something good, but she didn't do it in the right way. She used people to get it. And even though there was hard work involved, and I think she had great ambition, it was a great idea. She took it, she took it the fast pace and went for a con instead of just sticking it out and and doing it. And I think that's the hardest part to swallow in all of this, is that we know hard work. We as Black women, we as women, we we are the people who work so hard, men or women. We know the value of hard work, and we know that it is not always. We would love to get a get out of being broke card, but that's the part that because if I tried to go into a bank, they would put a pipe up my ass and then still wouldn't give it to me. It was look at everything. They would put up a tube and say, "Well, let me just see," and then they would still, I gotta be totally good, and they would still say no. So I get it. I get that whole thing, and that's why she did the crime and she did the time. But if the other side of that, it was a great idea. She was ambitious, and it was nice to see a young person wanting to do this. But she's not the only one, and they don't have to break the law to get what they want. It's just they wait it out. So all of that, being said, it's a shame that it happened that way. I hope that I've told her this. I hope that she will do better with her new fame, with the money. She's gonna make a lot of money, and she's already making money. And I said, I hope you do better. You know better. Now do better.
Now let me ask you this: when's the last time you spoke to Anna?
When she came out the first time.
Because so the people in the audience know, she was released from her prison term, but then after 6 weeks of being home, she was picked up because her visa had run out, and now she's in what do you call this?
ICE. She's in ICE.
Oh yeah, she's in ICE. So
and she's getting ready to leave ICE, but they want to send her back, but she's fighting it with a court case. Like, we don't got nothing better to fucking do than take up the Supreme Court on Anna Delvey. You got to be kidding me. Send that bitch back to Germany and be done. So she is fighting it, because she wants to stay in the country, and she's fighting going to Germany. But I know she always wanted to go to London, so I think that she'll do that. And again, I wish her the best. She's not a bad person, like the sense that she's like evil. Oh my God, whatever. She's maybe a little misdirected, and she might be a little sociopathic.
She's a little delusional, and she doesn't have any remorse. That's the problem
That's
I
the part
had.
that she's, I think that she does, but it's hard for her to say it now because she's pegged herself into this person that's getting all this. The harder she is, the more publicity she gets. So she's stuck between a rock and a hard place right now. And what I send to her, and if we ever talk again, she knows what I said. I say, if you if you really feel like someone's wronged you, the best revenge is success. Take the money that you get and open that club you've always wanted to open. Reframe the narrative. Do something different. Don't just become this calm woman. Be a calm woman that became a bad bitch and a badass, and do something
And a
great.
graceful gangster.
And a graceful gangster. Do that. Let that be the thing that is, people will look at. And I say the same thing about Neff. It's okay to be the BFF, but don't be stupid about this.
Right.
Be a friend, but be a friend that is still Anna's friend. But I'm going on to make films, and that was a moment of my life, and maybe Anna will help you do. I mean, whatever. Change the narrative. It is just being that you're friends with a con person, and that's your claim to fame. Is that you stood by her, and when no one else did, and people are mad because. If it was a black woman, would they be as mad at her? Whatever. And Rachel, stop whining.
Right.
And stop calling out. Stop calling out
she
Anna
got
about.
over like a fat rat too. While you fooling.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody did a little something here, and you know what? We all didn't get paid back all our money. Some of us did, some of us didn't. But the point is that you don't have to be the woman that Anna did wrong and that con. You could be yes I did that, we were friends, and she did something wrong and she paid the cost, and yes, I'm making some lemonade out of these lemons,
right?
And this is what I plan on doing next, and this is my new thing on this, and write a book about like friendship or do whatever. You wrote one book, write another book. But stop complaining and being sour grapes. And Anna's getting all this fame and she did this. Please, a man would have never done even time. So don't even let me get started with that one.
Woo, don't get us started.
So I think everybody just needs to find a way to make this bad situation into something good, because I know that I'm very grateful, and I'd do it again if it meant that I'm able to talk to you and to people that I don't know, to encourage them to be kind and to be positive and to not give up on their dreams, and taking it from where I have had tons of disappointments, in my life, and I just try to stay on the trajectory. And Anna would never, ever in a million years know what anyone else stop me from trusting people and looking for the greatness in people. I will vet, but I will do, but it's not because of Anna that she will not change how I am in my life. She will not change my trajectory or how I'm seen as a person. If anything, she's helped. She's helped people know me.
But your spirit and your desire to want to help other people is why you, on the other end of something that happened bad, you're being blessed for it. You're being blessed, and it's going to come back to you multiplied, because
I love that
you had good intentions.
She did, and the way Laverne played me, it was like, like I would. There's a part where she throws a phone at me. I'd cut a bitch and throw a phone at me. Now, come on, that wasn't gonna happen. That didn't happen. That didn't happen.
But, you heard it here, people. It didn't happen.
But things that I didn't cry and say I'm a bad bitch. That didn't happen. I was actually stating to myself, to my doorman, when he said she's still there, and I said, okay, I got to get out of here, because I was stuck in my house and I wanted to walk my dog, and I said, KACEY, you're a bad bitch. Go down there and throw that bitch out your lobby, and that's what do. I couldn't do that because I knew that she had no place else to go. So I said I had to stick it out until she left. But that was that. So it was a little different, in the thing, because I was more empowering myself than Rachel saying, "Come on, KACEY, you're a bad bitch." Please. Anyway, but I will say, when you think about how life is, when I think about how God and the universe work, how I. When with the whole thing, even with Equinox being that disappointment, because I was young and I didn't put everything in writing and I didn't do things, but it didn't take me off my course. but how interesting it is how it had to come full circle around to Shonda, and she took good care of me. She wrote a story, and she really got the essence of who I am, and not just the physical, because I'm never just about the physical flash and the exercise. But my thing is about celebrate the body you have to get the body you want. So when I think about how God brought it all the way around, it took somebody like Anna coming into my life, getting this Shonda Rhimes series, which knocks me over with a feather every time I think about her and Laverne, and bringing it back to the point that people know who I am because of my actions of kindness, because of my actions of trying to help somebody. And so when I think about what people took from me, you could be money rich and spiritually bankrupt. No, I don't have anybody that watches that knows me. They say, that's KACEY. That's KACEY. I don't have no worries about somebody saying, well, no, she's really a bitch and she did this to me. I don't have that, because when people say, well, she really be that nice or whatever, people say that, is she really that kind? I don't have to worry about that anymore.
I see it. I know already. So
it's not hard to be kind. I always say that it is, when you can be anything else in the world that you ought to be kind. There's nothing wrong with that. And that doesn't make you weak. And it doesn't make you, it keeps you in the light. It keeps you on a trajectory of love and light. That's right. And you really become the bad bitch, the badass, the graceful gangster, baby.
Yes. Let me ask you one last question, because I know you got to go.
Ma'am.
And I know, but this is a question and it's going to be a little ignorant, okay? Because this is not a question I have. But first of all, how do you feel about the fact that Laverne Cox played you? And this is the ignorant part of the question, because some ignorant people are going to wonder, how do you feel about a transgender woman playing you? And do you worry that people are going to think you're transgender now because she played you?
Okay. Question one.
I know. It's all
Shonda Rhimes, she called me to tell me, she said, I'd like to tell you who I'd like to offer your role to, the actress. And, I had people that I wanted them, I was fantasizing about, who I thought could play me. But I know, no, I didn't think she was right.
Okay.
I didn't mention her because they say in the New York Magazine article, they say that KACEY had an Oprah vibe with it, and a young Angela Bassett body or something like that. It said,
they said
that, yes. Yeah, I said younger. I think I'm a year older than Angela. But anyway, I was like, but I dig Angela. She knows I love her to death. Although she didn't use me for the Tina Turner story, and I was kind of pissed. But that's okay. That's water under the bridge. I wanted that job.
I know that's right.
But that's neither here nor there.
Right.
When she said Laverne Cox, I was like, the transgender woman? And she said yes, and I was like, wow, okay. She said, just think about it. I said, that's brilliant. I said, it's brilliant because I needed someone who had been through some things to play me, because I've been through some things. My first husband was a day at the beach. We married too young. It didn't work out. That's my son's father. My second husband was a piece of shit work. He wasn't kind, and he was emotionally, verbally, and physically abusive. He made me doubt myself too much. I had to work through, and he passed. He died. We weren't married when he died. I didn't kill him. He passed away, in a car crash of some sort. And
I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm not laughing at the death or that. Just
no,
your comment.
But you know what? It's like I always think about when I think about him. I use a process that I use in my life called integration. And what I've done, he is now in my mind's eye in a corner with a dunce hat on, facing the wall. And when I'm really empowered, and when I really feel like I need some empowerment, I want to feel like the baddest bitch in the game, I turn him around and I say, thank you. Because he taught me everything I would never attract in a man again. And I never did. It got better and better and better and better and better and better and better. And it's still. So I needed that experience, not to be my ball and chain, but to be my radar. Yeah. You see, that's how you take situations that have not worked out in your life so well. And instead of no, you make them your champion. Now he's a part of it. He will always be. He's part of the KACEY Duke, brand, because that's what he did. He was brought there in my life for that reason. And I went through some hard stuff, but I came through it. When I think about what I came through with this motherfucker in the corner, that makes me feel like, when I think about how my son turned out,
gravy.
Yes. So back to Laverne, I know I had to divert a little bit.
That's okay.
Back to Laverne. So when I thought about all of this, I was like, she's perfect. Yeah. Because I know she's gonna come from a place where she knows what it's like to go through something. Because she needed to have my whole life story. And we sat for those hours, 4 or 5 hours, we talked. And we trained together. And she watched my mannerisms. And she got that down.
She did.
And she really, when I tell you, we talked about everything. I know about her life. She knows about mine. I asked her, I said, how does it feel to be the woman you've always wanted to be? And she said, absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And that feels so good for me to know that someone is living their life like it's golden, living their true self, living, and I think that Shonda was so brilliant to see that. Plus, it was so historical.
I was going to say, it's a historical milestone.
Yes. To be able to be herself as an actress, not as a transgender, not as an actress, and
as a woman.
So if anybody, so I love Laverne because she's an incredible actress. She's an amazing human being, an incredible actress, a beautiful woman, and so incredibly kind.
She did a phenomenal job as you. Yes. When I met you, I was like, wow. Like, I was even more impressed with her after meeting you. I was like, she really got this down. She got the true essence of who you were or who you are.
And she was so worried. She was so worried that I wasn't going to. I think she did a great job. She was so worried. I was like, bitch. Of course she did a great job. But
you're playing a real person who's living still. I mean, it's like,
yes, exactly.
Pressure.
And when it comes down to someone, people always say, is KACEY trying to? I mean, they could think whatever they want to think. They could say, I don't even. It never even came into my brain space that somebody would think, oh, KACEY Duke. I never thought about it. But the first time it happened, I was like, that's kind of funny. I laughed. I was like, that's interesting. They thought I was, And I thought that was just so, it was like, wow, I never even thought about it. And now when I see it, if it's done kind, they said, is she trying to do? And somebody said, no, she's not. She's married. She has a son and 2 grandchildren, and that's it. But when someone comes to me in some negative way and say, oh, why can't they find a woman to play you? That's when I draw the line, and I either delete them. I don't even have a conversation because I'll keep having this. As soon as I let into them, they're going to say something and say something. So I'm not trying to defend that because I don't have to defend her. She's doing a beautiful job. She's who she wants to be. And how
she lives her life doesn't affect anyone but her. So I just don't really understand why anybody has to get caught up in what she does with her life, her body, her choices.
Her body, her choice, her life.
I don't want anyone doing that for me. So why would you do that for someone else? You know?
So I'm really proud of it. I'm proud of being part of something historical. I'm proud to know someone that is really, really worked hard for who they are on every level. I've never met a person who looks or as a human being, as a person, I mean, this is like, she's just not, we just get up and we just, we are women who, we just got to do what we do.
Right.
But she had to become that woman. That is not something that stops. Every day she has to take things to help her to be able to stay there, to be in that place of womanhood. And we should think about that. We just wake up. We have to find a place to stay where we are, to remember, that we are co-creators, that no one can have, we can have babies. We can help co-create, they're not just pull them out, test tube and just clone them like that yet. You still need a carrier, and if you can't do that, create that, we create a lot of other things besides children. So it's like, she reminds me of what a beautiful honor it is to be a woman, and she does it so well. And she has, her downtime, her downness, she has her girliness, she has her sexiness, she just reminds me all the time of all the different attributes that I have that I utilize. You know, I'm a glamour girl, I'm a bad bitch, I'm a sexy model,
Yes.
I'm a this, I'm a that. You
I'm
know, and
a
she just
grateful gangster.
yes,
Okay.
and she's just out there just doing it, and I love that. I love that about her, and and you know, as please, they can. I'd be proud. Yeah, if I'm yeah, sure, I'm a transgender. That's okay, whatever. You
I know
know,
that's right. Whatever.
I'm a lover and a fan of Laverne Cox and of the LGBTQ and XYZ whatever community. You know,
Excellent.
because
I got
that's
you.
I support in
I agree.
total support of everything that they're trying to do for their rights um, and for
Yeah,
humanity.
I agree. I agree. Well, KACEY Duke, how can people find you? Where can they find you and how can they hire you? Tell us that.
Well, you know what? My website is KACEY Duke Fitness at gmail.com. But you know, I'm on Instagram at KACEY Duke. So follow me, please. And
And I will put your
I'm opening
information.
my store soon. You can get my
Yes.
T-shirts. I have all my KACEYisms. They call them KACEYisms. I love that. And shit's so funny because I've been saying this shit for years, and people used to always say, "Well, I love that," and I was like, "What did I just say?" But I, you know, they took a lot of stuff from my book. I have a book called "Show It Love: Celebrate the Body You Have, Get the Body You Want," and the Kindle version you can get on Amazon. And I appreciate the support because I love that's the beginning of. You'll love that book. It's timeless and it's great exercises, but it's great information.
All
Cooking
right.
is my hobby. It's great recipes in there, and so
I
the
will make
store is
sure
going to
that.
open, and please follow me so you can keep in touch. Oh,
Yes.
wait a minute, I forgot the
What?
biggest thing.
What?
My website that's going to have lots of interactive and exercises and information, and my podcast. You have to go to agedefyingphysique.com.
AgeDefyingPhysique.com.
Yes, age defying,
Ooh, okay. Well, we know,
and
look, if
sign
anybody can teach us about age defying anything,
up.
it's KACEY Duke.
Oh, well,
Okay.
thank you. So you
And
got
I'm
my
going to make sure
website.
I have all of your contact information and everything in the description of this video for sure.
Website that age defined, my podcast that's coming out called The Graceful Gangster. I want everybody to uh follow me on Instagram and sign up on Age Defying or KACEY Duke Fitness, either one,
Absolutely.
so that we'll be in touch so that you guys can hear the podcast and suggest if someone else is out there is a graceful gangster, but some great celebrities coming on and non-celebrities, and it's gonna be a fun year. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm so grateful to be at this point in my life where I can just be who I am and see the greatness in all of you and celebrate and connect. So
Well, you
thank
are
you
an
so much, Val, for
inspiration.
asking me to be
You
on the
are an
show.
inspiration, and I want to be just like KACEY Duke when I grow up. Okay. That's all
Oh,
I have to
see
say.
that shit.
I'm
Thank
sorry.
you.
I know I kept you longer than we intended, but you are just, I could talk to you forever, forever. So anyway, I want you to come back, and then maybe next time you come back, we can do some exercises with you, or let us know when you're going live, and we'll come over there and hang out with you.
Every Wednesday, I do a live show called Raw, but
Okay.
that's called Real Ass Women, and you can go to Raw Real Ass Women and sign up because me and my associate partner in crime, co-host Darlene Williams, she and I do something on Wednesdays, and it's on Instagram Live, and it's growing and moving and shaking, and we can surely use the support. So hopefully we will see
Yes.
you there. So you
We'll
got
be
Raw
there.
Wednesdays, you got KACEY Fitness, you got all kinds of ways to reach out. So y'all better do it because I want
That's
to
right.
connect.
We will. I promise. I promise. KACEY Duke,
All
thank
right.
you so much. Mwah. Love you. Thank you for doing this for me.
My pleasure. And it's so nice to connect with you. And people don't know we just met. You the vibe was right, and you were honest. And I'm happy to help you to elevate and get where you
I
need to go.
appreciate you so much. I really do. And you ain't gonna forget me because I'm gonna be, hey KACEY, what you doing? So don't worry about it.
All right.
Love you. Thank you so
Love
much.
you too. Take care, guys. Blessings.
Bye-bye. You guys, KACEY Duke was here. I'm so excited. excited. I hope you all enjoyed the interview. Let me take a look and see here what some of you guys have been saying in the chat. I haven't been able to catch everything. Hey, I'm looking over at Facebook. Hey, Mike, I see you over there. Hey there. I hope you guys are enjoying the interview. Go back, red ball it for the things that you missed. I tried to make a good point to watch Facebook while I was watching StreamYard over here on YouTube. Facebook people, you know what? In the future, you might want to come on over here on YouTube. We got a lot more people that are typically interacting in the chat. But I want to let you all know that, I thought that woman's spirit is so infectious. You meet her, you talk to her, and she's inspiring. I mean, who else is going to teach us about age-defying secrets than KACEY Duke? Did she say she was going to be 67 next week? Are you serious? Look, I turned 52 this week. I want to be like KACEY Duke right now, okay? Can I look like KACEY Duke right now, y'all? Oh my gosh, she's gorgeous, and she's so sweet, so kind. Oh, okay, let's see. Hey, Fedora, I saw you when you came in. Yes, Sarkonos, I agree with you. But the truth is, look, that question I asked is because, somebody somewhere is asking. In fact, I'll be honest. When I went to get my hair cut last, and I told my barber that I was doing this interview because we were talking about Inventing Anna. And when we did that, he was like, is the woman transgender? And I said, she's not. And he was like, oh, well, that's jacked up. And I was like, well, why do you think that's jacked up? I said, she doesn't see that as a bad thing. She sees that as being a part of history. And I think that is true. Like, this is revolutionary. I don't know if it's been done before with other transgender actors and actresses, then I don't know about it. But I would bet that it hasn't really happened in our community, especially not on this level. We know that it hasn't, not necessarily on this level. So I just think that with a Shonda Rhimes production, I just thought, wow, that's a great opportunity for Laverne. It's a great way KACEY Duke gets known. And even if the only thing you want to know initially when you hear about KACEY Duke is she transgender? Well, then you're going to see, no, she's not. And she's fine. And she's the bomb. She's a bad bitch. And she's a grateful gangster. Okay. All right. Who else came in here? December baby. I can't remember. Yeah, I think I did say hello to you. Hey, December baby. Miss Tawana came in. I didn't get to say hi to you when you came in this morning. Hey, Heavy Bear. Who else? Let's see. Busy Blue. Thank you for coming through. Mel Lee. We've talked to you. Look, I'm rhyming, y'all. No, anyway. You guys were talking in the chat. What'd you guys think? I would love to have her back at some point. Oh, she says she's 67, now be 68 next week. Ain't that? That's ridiculous. The woman is gorgeous. Okay. Crazy. I'm so impressed. Exactly. People assume that every character that she plays is transgender when it's not. So that man just made that assumption, then said it's messed up. Exactly. Why is it messed up? I mean, it's not messed up. It's actually an opportunity. It's a great conversation. Like now we're having a conversation, and having the conversation actually hopefully will change some other minds. Maybe not, but maybe it will change some other minds and open up more doors. So I just think then it won't be a thing that we're even thinking about, the more it happens. But I think that is badass on her part to take the stance that she does. And I think that's the bomb. I came in late. I have to catch the replay. That's right, y'all. If y'all missed the interview, please red ball it back KACEY Duke was in the house. Guys, I got another comedian coming through. Sherman hooked me up and got another one of his buddies to kind of interview with me. So we're just scheduling that soon. And I'm not going to say the name, of course, until I get closer to the date. But we've got that coming up. I got like a lot of stuff lined up for you guys. I hope that you will be excited. But if you have any additional ideas, show ideas, I am open to them. Please feel free to reach out to me like this. All right, I looked over here on Facebook, and do I see one of my, literally, I'm not trying to be funny. He dropped down over here in the chat. Is this my Emmy award-winning friend from school, from elementary and high school? Is that who that is? Hey, Scott Woods, you and I need to have you on the show. I got a friend who has an Emmy. Duh, you think I shouldn't have him on the show? I think I'm going to have him on the show, whether he wants to be on it or not. Hi, Scott. How you doing? Everybody, thank you so much for coming and supporting the show today. I want you all to have a fabulous Sunday. Please, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Please like this video and share it out, y'all. I can't grow if I don't have you on my team. So if you wouldn't mind sharing this out, I'd appreciate it. Okay. And look, Scott over here, they're saying, yes, Scott, come on. I'm over here on YouTube. They said, come on. And you're saying all good and rooting for you. Well, good. If you root for me, Scott, I want you on my show. All right. So I'm going to get in touch with you soon. All right. All right, everybody. You all have a wonderful Sunday. I love you all. And maybe I'll see you out here in these YouTube streets today. Okay. Otherwise, stay out of trouble and smooches.